Hi, in this short video, I'm going to show you why 95% of coaches fail within the first few years. And not only fail, completely run out of money, frustrated, impacting their lives, their livelihood, their families, and really getting back into the workplace and looking for a job. So over the last 20 years, more than 20 years, I've been a coach here in Melbourne, Australia, and I've built and sold one coaching company, Engage and Grow Global, and I trained over 700 to 800 coaches in 25 countries. I've recently sold that company, and now I've built a new business, Quality Mind Global, which is really helping people in the mental wellness space get to a high performance level, no matter if you're dealing with anxiety, depression, or just want a career move and elevate your status as a mother and father into a great leader, a high performance thinker, so you can manage all pressures that come past you. So there's some really key differentiators here on the coaches that have really been successful. And this doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter really how old you are. It doesn't really matter how much experience you've got. Because most coaches come out of the working force and they really want to elevate into this space that's passionate, that is really heart-driven. They're working for the man and they're sick and tired of it. And so there's a unique 5-step formula that I believe, and I've seen time and time again, which makes the best coaches reach the pinnacle and do it relatively quickly. But if you don't follow these 5 steps, you will stay in the 95% zone of coaches that fail. And so if you take these on board, you will get there. This is what they are. The first and most important thing is when you come out of corporate, when you come out of a business or wherever you may be, you've got all this information, all this intellectual property that you've really learned from other teachers, you've designed yourself, but quite simply is you still need to test the system. And so a lot of people come into the system, and coaching that is, and they don't have a proven 100% guaranteed system, which works every time. And when I mean works every time, you want to get to the point where it is group coaching. So if you're doing one-on-one coaching, that's great, but you'll burn out within 5 to 6 years. I see it time and time again. They get to the point, they've got maybe 30, 40 different clients, if that, and they consistently turn over and are getting massive results. But if you do groups, you can have 300 to 400 to 500 clients all actively working with you. And some groups, we're talking between 5 and 15 on a weekly basis. So having a proven 100% guaranteed system really helps your clients feel risk averse and they want to jump in bed with you when it comes to taking them on the journey. The other point is that's really, really important is why coaches fail is because to change people, you've got to change their brain. So you've got to really study neuroscience. And to study neuroscience, it basically says that you need people, there's 3 ways to change people from a neurological point of view. The first point of view is through repetition. So consistently working on repeating. And this is really, really important because it takes 21 days to build a long-term thought and then roughly 63 to 80 days, if not more, depending on your age, to make that long-term thought a habit. Okay, then after that, you can really become the new version of yourself. But to do that, what happens with most coaches, they'll get an individual or they'll get a group, they take them on a 6-week or a 12-month program, and they do once a week or once a fortnight catch-up sessions for an educational. And that's fine. But this is what majority of coaches are doing out there today. And why that's the problem is because you're not changing habits. You're just educating people and getting them to, every time they come back to a meeting on, say, Tuesday at 12 o'clock and the following Tuesday at 12 o'clock, they haven't really changed any habits. And so this is where technology must come in. And this is a defining and actual biggest point of difference when it comes to the best systems, which is referring back to the first. So adding to the system, which is the content you're promoting and providing each week, has to be powerful. Okay, it has to be designed in a way that steps people up level. You can't go in too hard at the top because you can't feed a baby a steak. And so when I say technology, so the most important thing is you must have technology. And it really needs to be technology that your clients use on a daily basis. So for change thoughts, so if you've got business clients or you've got sports clients or just life-based clients, For them to become the best version of themselves, they need to change their subconscious. As I mentioned before, there's 3 ways to do that. One is through repetition. Second is through psychedelics, which we can't do all the time. And third is through hypnosis. And that's a great aspect too, but we don't really go to hypnosis sessions all the time. And if you do, great, but you might need a few of them anyway. But the most powerful way is through repetition. And so with technology, you need people to focus on their thinking and feeling and rehacking themselves and advancing themselves 7 to 30 minutes per day. And this is the key. Okay, so part of the proven system is they need to have access to technology. And so they activate 7 to 30 minutes a day and rehack themselves so their subconscious actually becomes redesigned. And so after 7 to 30 minutes a day, a minimum, then they start to, the neurology, it's called neuroplasticity, starts to kick in. So wherever your focus goes, your life flows. So if you're consistently thinking yesterday's thoughts of worry, you're consistently creating yesterday's thoughts tomorrow. So we've got to block that. We've got to redesign that. And you can only do that through repetition. And so if you're coaching 12 o'clock on a Tuesday and 12 o'clock on a Tuesday, there's a whole week that's gone past that the brain hasn't changed. The brain's just given information. So I've written 4 books. I've had a podcast. We do workshops and seminars. They're brilliant, but they don't create rapid transformation. They create education. How many times do you put a book away? How many times do you get a podcast and go, you know what, I've got some good information there, and 2 days later you've forgotten all about it? And so technology is really, really, really important. If you don't have technology, you can't really guarantee success, because when you have technology on the app and on the back end dashboard, you can see exactly what time they're waking up. Are they talking well to themselves? Are they eating well? Are they activating? Are they getting rid of overwhelm? Have they removed their limiting beliefs? Have they got relationship challenges as well along the way? And this is really the considered part of how to create a massive transformation. So just don't hope anymore that one week you get an education and the following week you get an education. You're not going to create massive transformation. Depends on how you want to your brand out there in the wilderness. And I really noticed this back in 2012 when we brought technology into our company, because I really wanted to find out what was happening on Monday night at 6 p.m. when all hell broke loose in the office or in the family environment. And then I could go to the dashboard, I could see that there was an altercation, some verbal argument, and did they have the tools then in the technology to be able to help themselves through that right there and then, so they can get themselves back to neutral, if not further, into a happier place. And this is part of the neuroscience. This is part of the neuroplasticity of when you're feeling down, how quickly you can get yourself into a high-performing, positive mindset. This is what every coaches lack. And I can't believe it, because this is really the key to what we're doing. And I'm not here to sell anything to you. I'm just showing you, if you're a new coach, if you want to create massive and rapid transformation, not only in yourself, but for your clients, this is something you really, really need to consider. Because hoping and knowing are 2 different separators when running a coaching business. You want clients to come back, we want referral work, well, you've got to create brain change in everyone. Okay, the third point is really support. There's that many online courses out there today that go, okay, just jump onto the online dashboard. There's week 1. There's some ideas. Run the goal setting smart activity. All these 1990s stuff that doesn't activate inspiration. It's a lot of the corporates that we work with, a lot of the clients we work with have done a lot of that stuff. Okay, so you're just rinsing and repeating yesterday's news. So when it comes to support, you need weekly live support. You need hand on hand. Basically, this is the next stage, this is the next stage, this is the next stage. Because if you've got a business out there, which a lot of our clients do, they're starting a side hustle with Quality Mind, and they've got maybe 4 hours to 5 hours a week to fill building this out, or more or less. Okay, you need a clear roadmap, an absolutely clear roadmap that's achievable, that's doable, and it's taking out all the junk and the things that you don't need to learn. So you've really just got to get straight to the heart of what creates change. You don't need to educate yourself on too much, but when it's systemized, it's systemized here, and you've got the technology to do the lion's share of the work when you're not there. So you just run the weekly sessions, and then the technology does all the hard work for you all leading up. Then you've got a support mechanism behind you to show you exactly what the next stages are and to prepare for any challenges along the way. All right, the fourth one is marketing and lead generation. So it doesn't really matter if you've got a huge audience out there. Certainly it helps. It doesn't really matter how much experience you have out there. But the bottom line is when you start a coaching business and you go out to your socials and your organic mates and all that sort of thing, they're not your actual preferred client. And so having a very strong and focused message with your marketing that goes direct to the eyeballs of people who actually want your services and the change that's required, then that's the key. So social media, organic growth, brilliant, great for brand awareness. But when it comes to ads and Google, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever they may be, the message has to be clear. So you need to niche down, niche into your area. It could be corporate females who want to go from middle to top level or just manage stress, burnout. It could be men stuck in a rut. It could be business coaches wanting to elevate. Just get clear on your niche and then get your marketing support and strategy built around them. Now, as coaches, it's very difficult to learn marketing. Okay, so you need a very strong marketing support arm as well, which is like this. Okay, not only the support for the IP, okay, you need support for the marketing. And so that's what we do as well. So we have a specialized marketing team that will actually design, refine, build, and create all these ads for you along the way. But just know there's so many marketing companies out there who don't do enough research, who don't really understand your market audience and how to message to your market audience in a way that things change very quickly. So you need to be on the ball, you need to be A/B testing, and you need to have a team basically doing this for you. So you can focus on what's important is getting these two right. Understanding the system, understanding the technology, running the system, making the transformation through the support, and then having a marketing arm to really elevate that down and to the world. So you need to purchase eyeballs. Okay, so organic growth in terms of social marketing, great. Do it. You must do it. Get videos out there weekly. Show people that you know who you are, what you're talking about, because they're going to research you. They're going to before they jump into a program with you, they're going to research. Okay. So most importantly is have a very structured marketing arm to this and activate it straight away. All right. Number 5, identity. Majority of coaches that come through our organization, they're in the corporate sector, they're in the business sector, and they're still carrying the identity as an employee. And so this creates a blockage because that's an old identity into a new identity. The new identity is one of a problem solver, entrepreneur, loves to learn, growth. Okay, so activate it because in a short amount of time, you will build this business, but you've got to change your identity. You've got to be prepared to go out there and you've got to be prepared to start educating people. And so this really is removing your limiting beliefs, okay? Removing any stories that you have that are burdening you to take this next stage forward. And so getting that identity clear on who you need to become the coach of your dreams. How does that coach in a year or two's time act, feel, and perform? And what does their life look like from a lifestyle point of view, financial point of view? And so really embedding that into the version 2 of you. And so getting to a point where, okay, that's version 1. Here I am coming out of the workforce, going into a new business, and you've really got to wear 2 hats. That hat needs to stay at the office. This hat is the exciting hat, which is when you've got people around you, educating you, showing you how to do it, but most importantly, doing the transformation on yourself. Okay, so going through a transformation program, which is what we also offer, in a way that you start seeing yourself so differently. Because within you, your heart space, that's who you are anyway. You burst out of this corporate or business sector and you want to go, no, I've got all this intel. I've got all this love to give. I've got a world that needs to hear my stories. And part of your stories becomes your identity. So making sure your stories are sound and clear and using your stories to sell. using your stories to convince, using your stories to inspire. Okay, so this is part of the old identity, actually advancing the new identity, the version 2 of you. And so really important to get to the point where you're standing strong, you wake up fresh and you go, right, what does my future look like? I want to work from home. I don't want to be in meetings time and time again. I don't want to earn money from another person I'm creating money for. I want to create my own wealth. I want to create a lifestyle for my family. So changing your identity is really important. Where a lot of people, a lot of coaches will get stuck in, okay, so I'm still in my old corporate job mode and there's not enough action and inspiration and passion brought over to this new environment. So that's when support comes in as well. Okay, so you've got to bring in support to help that identity shift change. And again, that is through technology, okay, understanding the proven system, because the system does that as well, and then having the support around you to elevate into that next space. So in summary, having a proven 100% guaranteed system, and this is important. Not many coaches have a guaranteed system. And at the start of the guarantee system, what does that look like? Well, what are the 3 KPIs we ask our clients that you want to achieve in this 12-week program or 24-week program, whatever we have on the market at that time? And we get crystal clear on those. And we do every 4 weeks, we do a survey on how they're going, how close are you to achieving those goals. Okay, so a guaranteed system. Number 2, and the most important, to create massive transformation, you need to change the brain. Technology in their hands every day, throughout the day, a full toolkit that they have access to when you're not there, to activate upon the tools and activities that they've been taught upon within the sessions to actually go to the next level and change their state throughout the day, help them through overwhelm, help them through anything that passes them by. Because we as humans are only as good as how we manage pressure. So if you've been pressurized for 2 days on a certain subject, in amount of time, you want to get that down to 2 hours, then you get down to 20 minutes, in amount of time, 2 minutes, and then 20 seconds. And that's the key. So you can quickly self-regulate, you can quickly get self-awareness around the situation, release control of it, and then think intuitively how you need to approach this certain circumstance. Because at the moment, we always think our way through. Yesterday's thoughts are always flooding through. So much worry, uncertainty, concern. And so the technology does the neuroplastic change that most coaches don't understand for their clients. So you can get to the second meeting or the 3rd week meeting and the change is already taking place. Making sure you've got ongoing live support, not just through forums and the odd email. You need to have human-to-human support, right? Because people are complicated. Every crew I run, and I've run hundreds and hundreds of crews, and I'm talking crews at groups of 5 to 15, every crew is different. So having support from experts to manage it in the same way. And most importantly, when it comes to coaching, you don't want to regurgitate the past, okay? You want to create a future-focused program up here that understands the basis of neuroscience, that goes and redesigns the brain the way forward, the way you want life, just to retract there. And then you need a very powerful marketing and lead generation partner and model that can guarantee success as well. So if you don't get a certain amount of leads in a certain amount of time, then they work for free until they do. So you need to have that as well. So you can have a risk-averse approach to really building out your business. So you can go, right, I've got to do X, Y, and Z, like weekly videos or some updates and put some plugs out there and posts out there on social media. But my ads and marketing and lead generation team will do the rest for us, getting leads in and then understanding how to convert those interested prospects because they love your story, they love what you've got, the content works, hundreds of Google reviews and so forth, and they'll jump in because you've been endorsed by not only the system, but your stories as well. And lastly, changing your identity. So having coached 800 odd coaches, these 5 steps are critically important to your success. Don't just think about starting a coaching business, go, I just need to learn something, go to get accredited, do a 2-year, 3-year course. Literally, I've done them all. And I've just more or less went, okay, what's the fastest way to create change? And that's all I studied for 20 years. And now coaching in 5 AFL clubs, hundreds of clients, thousands, I should say, in 25 countries. It all came down to this. So if you're interested to learn more, check out the masterclass below, and I'll give you more intel on how to go about this. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're starting out in the coaching industry, the world needs your voice. Get out there, build that passion, and let the world know that you're here to support them, because a lot of people today are in a lot of turmoil, and the more of us